Hey Queens, I just tried to film this video on my TikTok and I feel like how come sometimes whenever I'm talking about certain things, like whenever I was talking about this with myself, like I could feel the language and the dialect spawning into like the way that I used to like carry myself because of like the situations I'd be in and I used to be in, and like the people I used to hang around, and like just like the way that I like would hang around myself. Like, does that make any sense at all? It makes sense to me. And then yeah, but I was trying to talk about vaping and basically try to give some advice because this guy popped on my For You page and he was talking about, oh, I just poked a pimple. He talked about how his lung just collapsed and he's 24 because he like vapes and like stuff like that. I was gonna explain my story of how I quit vaping, but like I feel like really the most important part of quitting vaping is once you get the initial quit done. Cause for me, I smoked weed. I smoked 7 grams in 3 days. Because I was trying to get back into smoking and trying to have it feel like the way that it used to feel. Not even the way that it used to feel, just trying to feel comfortable being high again, because I used to get high all the time in dangerous situations just so that I wouldn't give a fuck that they were dangerous. And then after I got out of rehab, at some point after I got out of rehab, which was like 90 days, like, so I got out in like February, and then so like somewhere in like the summer I started getting really anxious whenever I would be high. And then I would start drinking more. That way, I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? That way I could smoke. That, like, you know what I mean? And then like that way I wouldn't like be anxious whenever I smoked. Like I would literally like majority of the time I would just get drunk so that I could get high. You know what I mean? Like at that point, whenever it got to the point where I was scared to be high, I would just start getting drunk so I could get high. Okay. So whenever I turned 18, and I got out of rehab when I was 16, so that was like in the summer. And then whenever I turned around the time I turned 18, I was like, I need to stop vaping. Like I just felt like I wanted to stop vaping. And so, and like mind you, like I started vaping whenever I was 14, before I started literally doing anything else except for that glass of wine whenever I was 10. And like puff bars, the whole nine. Side note, if you are vaping off of random people in the bathroom, and like I remember like I used to like just wipe it off on my shirt or wipe it off my hands and then hit their vape, that doesn't delete STIs and stuff. So still see if you can go get checked if you're doing that, because it can be really dangerous to let stuff like that fester. Okay, so so I and like now it like people also like you like people can put things in their vapes to like add a little sparkle and razzle dazzle, especially if it's like a mod system. Just be careful. If you don't know what a mod is, it's like a Nord. Hold on, because I also used to have a Nord, one of the mermaid Nords whenever I was a freshman. Anyway, bro, that just brought me back. That just literally just got our flashbacks. This is literally what I had as a freshman. Like I can literally almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. Anyway, so yeah, so this little top part would like come out a little bit. It would like come out and then you could like fill it with juice, right? So you never know if someone's putting something a little extra in their vape. Even if they're just putting weed in, like you might not smoke weed, like that might freak you the fuck out. Like if you just think that you're hitting a vape and then like you're high, like that would be very scary. Even if you do smoke weed. And that's just like that's the best case scenario type situation, you know what I mean? You never know, and like that could actually cause your lung to collapse on the fucking spot, not just because it's a vape, but because they put some random ass shit in there. Anyway, And also keep in mind that acid is literally liquid. Like, it's like you might only think of it as the gel tabs, but people could also be putting, like, they're like, I'm telling you, people could put some crazy shit in their vapes. So just be careful and don't just hit anybody's vape. One, because you get STI, and two, because you don't want to be tripping. Anyway, like, you don't want to be tripping whenever you didn't sign up to be tripping. That can literally cause you to go into psychosis. It can be very bad, very, very bad. Anyway, and you don't want to be tripping on things that are not like this. We're not talking about. We're gonna stop the conversation right there. We're gonna stop right there. But don't do drugs. Don't do pills. Don't do any of that kind of stuff. Like, don't do pills. Just because it's Bill Clinton doesn't mean that it's hee hee ha ha. No. Don't eat Bill Clinton. Anyway, even if someone offers you it for free, because the amount of times people offer me that shit for free just because I didn't do it, they'd be like, just try. You want one of these? You want mine for free? Don't do it. That shit could be laced with fentanyl. And even if it's not laced with fentanyl, you do not want to be hooked on that shit, bro. Talk about a fucking gateway drug. That's the real gateway fucking drugs, is the pills and shit. Because, no. Anyway, I just had to put a little PSA in there for ya. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, and then eventually I started doing like using like a Vuse, and it got to the point where I was going through like a 4-pod pack every week of like 5% menthols. Like, it was bad for me, for my body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not, it's not good to vape at all. Like, you can, like, I heard that your lung can collapse after just taking one hit. Like, it's actually like not good. Anyway, so the way that I quit was and technically the first time I ever quit after I had started was whenever I went to rehab. Cause yeah, whenever I was in the mental hospital, I was only there for 4 days, and I was so traumatized the whole time. Like, for the first like day or so of the mental hospital, I was mute, bro. I was not saying anything to anybody. The only time I talked was whenever I had to for group, or I don't even think that they made me talk on the first day of group, or whenever I asked them if I could stay in my own room, because I was like, I'm not joking. But anyway, so yeah, but then the first time I for real quit for like a prolonged period of time was whenever I went to rehab. And the first few days, I kept trying to check my phone. I kept literally reaching into my pocket. I didn't even have pockets. Like, for the first few hours, I was literally in scrubs because they had to shrink all my clothes. 6 foot, they had to shrink all my clothes. My clothes were from fucking Walmart. They shrank all my fucking clothes. Because they had to put it on lava, on Hades, to make sure that there's no fucking fleas and shit. Anyway, but yeah, I literally had my scrubs on. I was like trying to get my phone out, get my vape out, and they were just not there. Anyway, I just was remembering a scene from a movie. I was literally saying that, but I don't know exactly what they said. But anyway, but yeah, and then, and then eventually I just forgot that I vaped. But like, for the first few weeks, low-key, well, no, first few days, and then I'll have to consult my journal, because I had a diary while I was there. But I don't know if I want to, because just don't know if I really want that blast from the past right now. Maybe whenever I'm like 30. Okay? Anyway. But yeah, that was a little bit more intense because I didn't have anything else to do. And like, especially since it was like kind of like a school environment, because whenever I was in rehab, at least, we would wake up, then we would be sitting and learning about stuff for like learning about like drug things, like about like what drugs do to the body, or like just like random stuff. Like I don't even remember everything. But we were learning some pretty important things. Then like school and stuff, because it was like in like February, right? Well, not in February. I got out in February. Was like right after Christmas. This was in January. I went in January. I think like January 1st or something, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah. So yeah, and like I was always vaping at school. So, and like in the classrooms and stuff. So I think I was just thinking about it more because like it was like kind of like a school environment. I don't know. But anyway, that's the first time I quit vaping for like a prolonged period of time, and eventually I just forgot I even vaped. Like it didn't even really matter to me. But the second I got out, I started vaping again. And then I went to and drinking. Like that's like I started drinking. Like that's whenever I started drinking like crazy, dude. Like crazy. Anyway, just because I was going like anyway, we can talk about that at a different time. But anyway, because rehab low key made me feel like I was like, bro, I could be doing more. There's so much more to like. I don't even know ball. I'm being so dead ass too. Anyway, and it's not even fucking funny, but that's literally what happened. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's literally what happened. Anyway, so yeah. Cause mind you, I went to rehab because I got laced, and I was on probation, and I had drug tests. I was on probation for truancy. Okay, nothing like crazy or anything. I went to St. Louis instead of going to school, and they said, "Oh, get the ankle monitor on that bitch now. Put her in that cell now." They wanted to send me to DYS, and my mom was like, "Well, we can just send her to rehab." So I went to rehab. They tried. Anyway, so mind you, I was in rehab with ankle. Anyway, and they told me I was gonna only have it for 2 weeks for house arrest, and then they said psych, and they made me have an entire time during rehab. I literally had a scar on my ankle because it was like rubbing my ankle raw. Okay. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, to be fair, I think that they low-key kept it on because they didn't want me to run away from rehab, but it's like, who do you take me as? I'm not gonna be on the run. That shit is exhausting. I've seen what it's like for my friends, and I'm not. I'll stay put. It's not even that bad here. Anyway, Anyway. Okay. So yeah. Side note. No. Well. No. Well. They try to make me go rehab. I said. Alright. So basically, fast forward. I'm nearing 18, and by this time in my life, I'd already known. When I was like 14, 15, 16, I said, you know, I'm not gonna be doing this for my entire life, yeah? I have to be able to stop at some point. I have to call it quits whenever I turn 18, or they will send me to jail for real. And I think it was because I was on probation that I started developing that mindset, because I was like, the second, like, I don't want to go to jail. So yeah, and so whenever it came time for me to turn 18, I like started winding down for real. Like, even whenever I was 17, because they could charge you as an adult, like whenever you're like 16, 17. So whenever I turned 17, I was like, yep, and we're gonna winding down. I put on my headphones, Headspace, winding down, going down, winding down. Okay. So yeah, and then I think after I turned 18, at some point I think it was after I turned 18, and then at some point I was like, I want to get back into smoking, because I knew I needed to heal. And like at that point, in September I started smoking and walking on my treadmill, and like just thinking things through and thinking about everything that I just experienced in my entire life, basically, not even just the past 4 years, but my entire life, just like processing that shit, digesting that shit. And so yeah, but I wanted to be able to smoke for real, because I felt like, I don't know, anyway, I wanted to be able to smoke for real, basically. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy 7 G's and I'm gonna smoke every time I want to vape. So bro, that's exactly what I did, and I would not recommend this to someone who hasn't greened out before, like at least twice. If you don't know what that feels like, and if you don't know like how to not be scared, like how to not be scared, because like I don't smoke now, even because like it makes me anxious, but like if you don't know that you're like gonna be okay, like the difference between like, I don't know, dude, just, and I got it from like a legal place, which is very important as well, to get your things through the right avenues, not just through anybody, because you never know. There's like smoke shops everywhere, and like low-key better prices, like, anyways. So anyway, so yeah, I did that, and then I was like done vaping. And then because I used to think whenever I was vaping, as well, I want to put this in here, I used to think, like, how do people just go about their day not doing and it reminds me of this time whenever I was in middle school, and I used to think constantly, I had no friends in middle school. The only thing I would fucking think about was, what if my parents, like, thinking about like what would happen if my parents died. And I shit you not, like, that would take up 100% of my brain space in middle school, to the point where like I just didn't talk to anybody for real. Like, I talk sometimes in class, but like for the most part I would just sit there thinking like, either what if that happened, or what do other kids think about, and like it's like other stressful shit that was going on in my life. And then eventually, like, you know, like, and then so I just wanted to say that as well, because it's like, now in this, fast forward to when I was 18, well, and like all throughout the years that I was vaping, I was like, how do people go on without vaping? Like, how do people just live and not like hit their vape every 5 fucking seconds, literally? Like, I didn't understand it. And I think that's like vaping and trauma, they kind of like are kind of like hand in hand, you know what I mean? Like, they kind of like, this is them, because it's like very similar feelings. And yeah, and I guess I just want to say, like, the answer is like, you heal through it, you digest it, you go through it instead of trying to go around it, you know what I mean? you move through it, and you digest it. And so yeah, but so at that point, then I was like done. I didn't have my own vape anymore, because like I waited till like my last pod in the pack was, I actually don't know if I had waited till my last pod, but I don't know, the one that was in my vape was like burnt. Yeah, I think I had waited till my last one was burnt. And then, which also, please don't do that, don't do that. But I just waited till it was empty. And then, but maybe I didn't. I would have to ask her. Anyway, so yeah, and then, but then like still like I was hanging out with the same people who still vaped, and so I would like, and one of the people brought up a very interesting point as well. She was like, you were only able to quit vaping because you don't go to school. You don't know what it's like you wouldn't be able, you'd probably still be vaping if you still went to school. So I don't know, it might be harder going to school because you're constantly around it. Well, I mean, that does speak to my point of like you kind of need to not be around it. But I don't know, I feel like it might be okay also, like in case you were in school and you're watching this and you're like I don't want you to not have hope. Like I think it would low-key be easier though at school, because it's like if you just go to the bathroom whenever you need to go to the bathroom, and like stuff like that, like people aren't just vaping out in the open at school, you feel me? Unless you go to the bathroom like during lunch break, then yeah. But like during class or in between, well, even in between classes, it's like a lot. But I don't know, do what you need to do to be able to quit, or whenever if that's something that you're wanting to do. But yeah, I'm also, she was not like a very close friend of mine. I just wanted to say that, like, that's not really like the way that she kind of said that to me wasn't really like I don't want to advocate for that. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, anyway, um, anyway, I just don't want people to like, listen to that and be like, think like that's how your close friends are talking to you. Like, no, they need to be like building you up, hyping you up, type shit. And so she was not a close friend of mine. Like, we did not talk about personal shit, like personal deep shit. Like, we didn't have sleepovers like that. Like, sometimes we did, but like I don't even want to do a diss track. But like I don't, because like I feel like this is turning into a diss track of like, oh, we weren't fucking friends. Like, it's gonna be okay. But like, as long as you guys know my general point of what I'm trying to say right now. But anyway, because I don't want y'all to be treated like that. But like it wasn't even that bad. I just kind of took it on the chin. I was like, okay, like I just listened to what she was saying, because it's like, it's valid emotions. It's just like the way that it was. It's like, don't be jealous because I'm not going to school. Like, anyway, because like, girl, it's not like I was supposed to not be going to school. I just wasn't going. I just was not going because I was like, girl, I don't want to. Anyway, who that in the back? Okay. That song just played in my head 3 separate times, just now in the past like 1 minute. Who that in the back? Okay. Anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I still hit my vape whenever I was around them, so I don't know. But, because like, I still was struggling with I was still struggling. Anyway, but yeah, but the second I stopped hanging out with anybody, like the second I moved here and like moved out of like my mom's house, because that's where I would hang out with everybody. Like my room there wasn't even a room, it was like a living room. Like there was like, it was my room, a hallway, a sliding door that didn't lock, and a hallway to another room. Like, we could talk about the psychological implications of that another day. But yeah, that shit was not a room. It was an observatory. Can I tell you guys about something? So whenever I was like drinking and shit, um, like all the time, and like on hella different types of like antidepressants and mood stabilizers and shit, um, I one time I literally felt this like surge of energy in my body, and then I got up and I went downstairs, and then whenever I was as I was walking downstairs, I saw like you know how in a dream, like this I saw this girl talk about this on TikTok, and like this is a really good explanation of what I'm trying to say, but I didn't want to just like copyright her shit. Anyway, you know how in a dream, whenever you close your eyes and like you're looking at something, like your eyes don't actually close, right? So think about that. But I'm walking down my stairs, a little bit of spooky warning, but not that spooky. It didn't really scare me. It was more of like an energy thing. But anyway, I was walking down my stairs, and there was like a hallway, right? Like not a hallway, but like the stairs was kind of like a hallway moment. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like open to my room. It was like should I draw for you? No. Well, should I? No. I think I can describe this. So once you walk out the door and down the stairs, like it's like a wall, right? And I could still see in my room. And what I saw, um, was like I got this like vision of like these like dark shadows like huddled around my bed. Who doesn't love that? But yeah, but as I've gotten older, I think that happened when I was like 16. As I've gotten older and like thought about that more, and even like whenever it first happened, and like I didn't even get bad vibes from it necessarily. I just kind of felt like it was more of a manifestation of my body being like, bro, you, bro, you have to chill. Like you have to. Like I had to. I had to. And I'm not joking. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah, but yeah, but yeah. Okay. Anyway. But yeah. And like not even to say like I do believe in energy, like that, but like I also believe that we, like our energy in us taking care of ourselves and healing ourselves and protecting ourselves through healing ourselves from things like infections and shit. Like whenever you heal yourself, you are protecting yourself from infections and festerings and pain and all that stuff. So, and that goes for energetically wise as well. And so I feel like it was a projection, just in the same way that dreams are a digestion of what is going on and what needs to happen. And sometimes like premonitions, like I've had premonition dreams. Like one time I had a dream where I had a dream about something, and the exact same thing happened in real life. Like dreams are very like this entire human experience is very like spiritual and profound and beautiful. And I think that there are certain moments in our life, in my life specifically, I guess I'm gonna speak for me, in my life, where it's like some like things have happened, and it's like helping me understand things, helping me understand the gravity of situations and the importance of taking care of myself and looking out for myself, cause it was a reflection of my reality, because I constantly had people over, and 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 like my bed was a couch. Like it like 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 I'm telling you, like parties at my house, like not parties but like kickbacks, like it was very like I remember one time whenever there was like a kickback at my party. We were gonna have it in a semi truck that was outside the podcast at my house because we were next to like a building or whatever. But then like that didn't end up happening because we literally tried to plan it in like 2 seconds. But yeah, and then it ended up being inside, and I just started crying. Like, I don't know, like I was just sitting on my bed. No, at that point at that point on my couch. So I wasn't even on my bed. Other people were on my bed, and or maybe no, that's when my couch. Yeah, I was on my bed. My couch was over there. And I just started crying, and just hugging my cat. Anyway, like, and like I didn't even and like the people there. It's not and the people there like it's not like I don't know how to, like, what am I trying to say? Like, I'm not angry with them. Like, of course, like I went to parties too at other people's houses. Like, that was just part of what was happening. You know what I mean? It's just like there would be times whenever this is like just like my inner child, my inner me would just be crying and screaming, and sometimes it would like come out and I would actually be crying, like, or angry, like or just wanting to like just getting like a surge of energy and just like needing to get the fuck out of my bed, like, and just go downstairs and shit. And like, yeah, so so yeah. um if you're a kid or you're going into high school and you want fun things to do, because I've been thinking about this as well. Something that I want to do with future friends, or just with myself, is go on more adventures. Like, go camping, go on hikes, like, stuff that is, stuff that is feeding me. You know what I mean? And like I feel like I already like and I'm not saying that you have to do those things in order to be like pouring into yourself and feeding yourself and nurturing yourself. I'm just saying, like, if you're a kid or if you're in your 20s or anything like that, or a teenager, and you see all this club culture or party culture and shit, I just, well, kid and teen are kind of the same thing in my eyes, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's like, um, but yeah, if you're young, I guess I should just say young, or any age, but specifically young people, because I feel like it's really catered towards, like, that kind of stuff is like really pushed towards young people, you know what I mean? Yeah, just don't feel like that's the only way to have fun, because it's really not, and it's super dangerous and it's scary, and you'll have to like if you do stuff like that, like, it's scary. It is really scary sometimes. But yeah. um okay. But yeah. Okay. Oh, side note, I tried this Tony's chocolate bar, Tony's pretzel chocolate bar, pretzel toffee chocolate bar. So good. So yummylicious. Anyway, okay. Alright, much love, y'all. Don't be afraid to explore what makes you happy instead of the generic bottle form of quick fixes. You know what I mean?